Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I will show you how to put data into the buffer. Before we go, we need to, before we continue, we need to know that in the buffer, we have 4 attributes or 4 fields that is important for read and write within the buffer. The first is the position. Position is the index from which we can put the data. Remember that we say that the buffer is array-like storage. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have 6 elements or a buffer with capacity of 6. So the position, let's say we have write A and B in this buffer, then our position should be here, should be the third. And the limit is the upper bound index. We can write, for example, if we can set the limit. For example, if we set the limit to 3, to here, limit to 3 as well, then we will not able to put the data into the buffer. Otherwise, if we put for the buffer, the default value for the limits is equal to the capacity. Capacity is the length, the size of the buffer. And the next one is the remaining. Remaining means the gap between the position limit. Let's say our position is 3, and our upper limit is 5. So we have 3 remains. That means we have 3 space to put our data in. And these are the fields or concept we need to understand before we can read put the data in and get the data out of the buffer. So next, we will try to say how these concepts works in our code. We will create a new class for the buffer put. And we have I have prepared some code on our notes. So I will just copy over, and we will have a closer look at it. Here at line 40, we define a help function to help to print out the information or print out the position limit, capacity, and the remaining for our buffer. And let's just comment all this. Let's just delete them. For the first part, we create the buffer, use the allocate method, giving it a capacity of 10. So before we run the code, we can guess what's the value for the position limit, remaining, and capacity. Because we haven't put anything in this buffer yet. So I I think that the position should be 0, and the limit remaining and the capacity should all be 10. Let's run the code to, first we need to import the class. Let's run the code to check whether our reasoning is right. Actually, yes, we are right. The position is 0, and all the other attributes are 10. Next, let's try to change the position and find the change about the attributes. As you can see here, we use the position method to update the position. Let's try to run the code. I think after this, the position is 2, and all the other things will be changed as well. As you can see, the position is 2, the limit and the capacity are the same, still the 10, but the remaining becomes 8, because we have 10. Here we have 10 slot or 10 spaces, and we set the position to 2. So here the position is 2. So remaining is 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay. Next, let's try to update the limit and print out the information. Okay, we set the limit to 3. Let's say after this statement or after this execution, I think our position is still the 2. We set here limit is 3, and the capacity and capacity should be still the 10, but the remaining should become 1. Let's check. You see, the result echoes what we just reasoned. Position is 2, limit is 3, capacity is still 10, and the remaining is 1. Next, let's try to put something in our buffer and try to see how it works. Okay. Remember this information. Our position is 2, limit is 3, and remaining that means that we can only put stuff in one space. Only one space is available for us to put. So I think we will be able to create or to put this in and put this byte in, and our remaining should tend to 0, and the position should be 3. Let's try to check by running the program again. As you can see, the position is updated to 3 because we put a byte here. When we put the byte here, the position will increment or increase by 1, or by the amount of slot we put in, and the limit does not change. It's still 3, but the remaining, because we've taken one space, so the remaining is used up. What happens if we still want to put another byte in? Let's try here. We just copy this time. I want to put the byte value for the 66. After 66, I would say, because we have already used all the available spaces remainings, I would expect there's an error or exception. Let's try it. Yes, as you can see, we failed on the line 32 because the remaining is 0. Now, how to solve that? I think we can solve that by set the limit, because as you might still remember, the capacity here is 10, and we set the limit to 3. So the situations here, this is 3, this is 3, the position is here, and the limit is here. All these spaces, although they are free, but because we set the limit to here, so we cannot put anything. Once we understand this, I think the solution is pretty simple. We just set the limit. Let's say we just set the limit to 4 and try it again. This time, I think we will be able to put the 66 in. As you can see, it executed correctly. Okay. In the following videos, we will show you how to read the data from the buffer